Hi, I'm Ian McClintock, founder of Charity Excellence. This is a one-stop shop for funding, resources and help. It is primarily aimed at UK non-profits, but it has been expanded to work globally. This short video is a quick walk round for those of you working in the international field to help you secure funding and write bids, etc. So this is the homepage of the website. In the bottom right, you can see a bunny rabbit. There is one here and there's one inside the system. The bunny rabbits are because we work with very vulnerable people. Both of them run on artificial intelligence using various types, and they can help you navigate the system. They do lots more, but you don't really need to worry about that. On the website, the Guide to Funding Finder in the top bar on the left, it searches for grants globally. Help Finder will help you find resources, IT, things like that. It can also find funding and support from companies. And Data Finder searches for open source data portals. Globally, it can find almost anything, anywhere. AI services, much of this is relevant to the UK, but we have tools that you can use to find funding, and we have a bid writer. This is the AI bid writer. It is inside the system, but you really need to read this and follow it. Policies are predicated on the UK, but safeguarding is safeguarding, so you can help yourself and modify them. The Resource Hub will give you click-through to everything that's on the hub if you're old school. At the bottom of every single page, you will find this orange bar. If you click this, it will download an infographic. That infographic is interactive. It gives you a very quick top-level overview of what Charity Excellence does. For the bid writer, you will find it will walk you through everything, and it will enable you to download the bid writer template, which is the best way for you to use that. So that's the website. You register, everything on the system is free. You log in, and it will take you, initially, it will take you to your My Profile page where you set up the kind of organization you are. After that, it will take you to your dashboard. The left-hand side here are the questionnaires. You can audit any aspect of what you do, fundraising, communications, finance, anything like that. It is set up, and the resources and help it connects you to are primarily the UK, so this is less use to you. However, fundraising and finance are the same all over the world. The systems and processes behind it are there, and many organizations will use it to go through and look. One thing you want to be aware of, you have to set your My Profile page up to tell the system all about your charity or your NGO. If you don't, it can't create your questionnaires. So you find your questionnaires across the top. Why am I showing you this? Here is income generation. The system has a large number of downloadable funding lists, including those for international NGOs that I've downloaded from the Charity Commission. The way to access these is, as you score the questionnaires, you will see downloads, funder lists in block capitals. And here they are. And here are all the different kinds that you can download here. If you want the funder lists, score the income questionnaire till you get to this. The three Finder directories are at the top. So here is Funding Finder. There is a short video. It will show you how to use it. It is very straightforward. For you, what you need to do is you need to select international, and then you select the area that you want. International are grant makers who fund anywhere on the planet. Africa are restricted to Africa. So if I select international and I search, the system will bring up 260 possible grant makers. If I expand that to include Africa, and we've got Asia and other areas as well, it will expand it to 359. It will give you a little bit about the organization itself, and then it will give you a link to that organization's website so you can go through. Be aware that in the UK, the vast majority of UK grant makers, that do fund overseas will only fund UK-based international charities. They will not fund overseas charities directly. I think it's a fraud issue. You need to be aware of that. If you start banging in lots of applications to UK-based grant makers, you may not get anywhere. Some of them will fund internationally. Now, the system is global. I don't get paid. So in actual fact, I don't need to keep you in the system. And the system has what are known as funding finders. These will automatically come up in your searches. And if you search for the funding finders, it will bring them all up. So what you can see are there are 77 entries where it has gone across. So for those of you not used to fundraising, it will go to things like a consultancy in the US who've put a whole list of Africa grant makers on, on their website for agriculture, for women, for HIV and AIDS and things like that. You can go there and they will say, here are US grant makers who will fund Africa, and then you can follow the links. It will also connect you to major free databases. There is a global environmental grants database. The Swiss government has a database of all the Swiss foundations. There's about 12,000 of them. You have to right-click to translate the German. So you can find databases if you're fairly sophisticated to this. If you're a beginner to it, go for the online funding lists. And you say, well, that's fine. But how do I find individual countries? And the answer is, if you click Kenya, it will go and search the keywords and it's come up with 15 entries for you. And that's how Funding Finder works. Help Finder is the button beside it in the blue band at the top. Again, there's a video to watch. Help Finder is also global. It's only got international at the moment, but if I search international, it will bring up 300 entries. Now, categories, it will find all sorts of stuff for you. It's got laptops, it's got consultancy, it's got period pads, there's all sorts of food, etc. So you can select, and it also goes looking for companies that make donations, but you can also get companies that provide pro bono and other kinds of support as well. There's a whole range of support available. So this is a very useful area to look at. You can go through them one by one. And what I will do is I will tell you a little bit about it. I will then give you a link to the company's website where they provide their NGO support. And I may well describe where it is. So the focus is Northwest Europe, and in the UK, it's got offices in London. If you're in Africa, that's not a good one for you. What I may also include in here are a link to a branch locator, which will tell you which parts of the world they operate in. You can also search thematically. So if I was to put in a search word for Kenya, I have got 7 companies who say that they support work in Kenya. You can do it in other ways too. So for example, if I include women, I'm looking for companies that specifically support women. And I've got 16. So you can search in those 2 ways. Within that, you just have to go to the websites and you need to search through and see what you can find. Data Finder is a global data portal, and it will find information on any kind of data for your funding bids, etc. So the final bit in here, this is the in-system bunny. He has got cool sunglasses because he can do things that other people cannot. So if you click the bunny, you can either type in a message and say to him, where can I get period pads or things like that? And the bunny will say, this is where you go and find that. He will download policies for you. He will allow you to run AI prompts in ChatGPT. If you're not used to it and you don't have an account, the bunny will simply walk you through it. The one that very much is popular with the overseas is the funding bid writer. There are 2 big challenges that are not fair. The first is that for those for whom English is a second language, writing good high quality prose for grant makers, it can be a real struggle. And the second element is that many overseas NGOs don't really understand all the kinds of things that you would need to put in a funding bid for a grant maker. So the bunny bid writer will walk you through that. So what the bunny does is it will ask you 17 questions. You know the answers to all of these questions. I will just type in some nonsense. He will then ask you another question. What's your group's name? Where are you based? What do you do? Who do you help? How much are you looking for? What are you going to do with it? What is your annual income? And you just keep answering questions until you get to the end. You then click it. The bunny will hop off to ChatGPT. He will turn all of that into what is known as a prompt, and he's failed on this occasion. No, it hasn't worked on this occasion. ChatGPT is flaky, and sometimes you can spend a lot of time typing this in, and then you drop it into the bunny, and it just doesn't work because ChatGPT is like that. They burn their servers out. So that's why the word funding bid is really important. So if I take you back to the web page, here is the bid writer. What the bid writer will do is it will explain to you the things that you need to do. It will give you all of the questions he'll ask you. It will give you ideas about how you can make your bid as good as possible. And at the bottom is that downloadable bid writer template. And what you do is you download that, you fill it in and save it, and then you just cut and paste your answers and you put them into the bunny, and that's all you need to do. We also have guides on our YouTube channel on how to write funding bids and how to find funding and things like that. You are more than welcome to help yourself. We have a webinar each Thursday morning at 10 o'clock where we talk about these kind of things. The webinars and all that information comes out in the weekly newsletter. I hope that was helpful for you, and I hope that your funding bids are successful. And thank you from me for the fantastic work that you do in supporting some of the most vulnerable people. I know how hugely challenging it is for you.